Well, Buen Camino, their pilgrims. I'm Jeremiah Gibbs. I'm your Camino guide, and
I'm Veronica.
actually, we're both Camino guide now because Veronica and I got married.
We got married.
So anyway, but today we're going to tell you a little bit about what we've been up to. But today, the big reason I wanted to make a video today is that we are announcing the trips for 2025. So we've got 2 Camino pilgrimages that are going to happen in 2025. I want to give you guys a chance to learn about those, and also if you want to come with us, registration is open as of today. So you're welcome to come and join us along the way. So we have been making a lot of videos lately. There's lots of videos on the channel, so there's probably something about the topic that you have a question about. There's about 80 videos up there. So there's plenty of information already on the channel, but we haven't been making fresh videos in a while, in part because we dated long distance, and then got married and moved. I'm in a new house now, and actually a new job and everything. So lots of things have changed, and in the meantime, making fresh videos has kind of gone by the wayside. But we plan to pick those back up. There's actually a lot of videos filmed that just need to be edited, and then that's because we've continued to do trips, and so we've been on 3 Caminos since the last time I was really producing a lot of videos. So we've now got some stories to tell from those Caminos, and also want to make some more content. But today we're here to tell you about the new trips. So we're going to be doing 2 pilgrimages in 2025. And just to give you a little bit, before we give the details of those pilgrimages, one of the things that's kind of unique, or a couple of things that are kind of unique about the ways that we do pilgrimages, first of all, we try to keep the costs super low. So these are not like stay in individual private rooms kinds of pilgrimages. These are staying in albergues. They are private albergues, so they're a little nicer than some of the municipals and so on. But these are staying in albergues and bunk beds and shared showers and so on. It saves quite a bit of money. It also, I think, gives more of what people think of as the authentic pilgrim experience. Granted, you can do pilgrimage any way you want to do it, but I think a lot of times when people think of Camino, they're thinking about sleeping in bunk beds and hearing people snoring and all of that. We do all of that. So, so we stay in albergues, which keeps the cost pretty low. We also let you make all of your own decisions for meals, which also can allow you to keep the cost low, or if you want to eat super well, you can eat super well, and you can make those choices for yourself. So that's another thing that's a little bit different from the ways that we do pilgrimage trips. But the trips are quite affordable, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. But in addition to that, we very much want to have a spirituality emphasis within the trips. Now, there are people who come on the trips who are not Christian or not particularly spiritual, and they're absolutely have a great experience. But then there is, I think, a little bit more within our groups. I'm a ordained minister. Veronica's a very faithful Christian and a therapist, and so I think our trips have that kind of formation content built into the experience in the way that we lead prayer services in the evening and things like that. So there's I hope a little bit more of a spirituality and pilgrimage focus than you might find with other kinds of groups that come on Camino, as well as trying to keep the cost low. Other than that, as you know, as I've said many times on the videos, you absolutely can plan this trip on your own. It is not that challenging. We encourage you to do that. Use the resources that are available. Plan the trip on your own. But if you're somebody who just says, I don't really want to have to think about it, I don't want to have to plan all of that, I just want to come, then we have an opportunity for you to kind of take a shortcut on some of the planning and hopefully have a really excellent Camino experience in the context of a group. Our groups are usually about
Can I say something?
10 to 20. Yeah.
So my first Camino was with Jeremiah and a group, and for me, it really took that barrier of coming on it the first time, going on it the first time. And I think for a lot of people that came to our last group here that we went on, they said, okay, now that I kind of have my feet wet, now I feel comfortable to go out and go on my own and do different parts of or different routes. And it just kind of can be a great way to get a glimpse of what it's like, so that you can go out and if you need that introduction, it can be a nice way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the first group pilgrimage, I've been leading group pilgrimages. I've been on about 12 Caminos so far. I've been leading group pilgrimage throughout that. Most of that was university students and sometimes groups of pastors. Recently, we've been doing these groups through the YouTube channel, and these are groups, oftentimes, a lot of them are retirees. There's some that middle-aged folks and younger folks, but mostly are folks that are retirees and so on. And this last group was more than 20 pilgrims. I think we had 22 or something like that were on the pilgrimage. And can I tell you, we've never had rain like on this pilgrimage. It had all of the conditions that would make you go, that wasn't fun. And yet the people who went on this pilgrimage said, we want to come back. We want to do this again. We want to do it on our own. We want to be able to have now that I feel confident being able to do this. People had an incredible experience on doing the group pilgrimage, and I know that you will too. And so we're grateful to be able to get to offer a couple of them this year. So let's tell you a little bit about those trips. The first one, I'm just bringing up my notes here. The first one is going to be in June, from June 9th to June 21. If you register, I'll give you some more of the details. You may want to, in your time budgeting, think about particularly a day before June 9th. So you may want to think in terms of June 8th as a travel day. But so June 9 to June 21 is kind of the pilgrimage days. Those are the days that you would be with me on the pilgrimage. That pilgrimage is going to walk from Osebrero along Camino Frances to Santiago. So Osebrero is this beautiful historic village on top of a mountain, has an incredible Camino tradition because of Father Elias and all that goes into his leadership of the Camino, which you'll learn about on Osebrero. But Sobrero is an incredible village. We will start the pilgrimage there, walking about 100 miles over the course of about, I think it's about 8 or 9 days of walking. And then ending in Santiago de Compostela. We will be staying in, as we said before, staying in albergues, in kind of, bunks and dorm accommodations. The places that we stay are places I use regularly. We know them to be safe, clean, good service from the owners and so on. So really nice places, but they are, like I said, co-ed dorm accommodations. And then after you end the Camino in Santiago, we spend a couple of days there, and then I get you back to Madrid, and you would fly out of Madrid again. So we meet in Madrid. I leave you in Madrid at the airport or just outside the airport. And so you have a chance to make the entire pilgrimage. Really, the only thing you have to plan is getting to Madrid. And I actually would, for some people, I for a fee can help you arrange your flights too, if that's really a challenge for you. So that's going to be June 9th to June 21. It's going to be about 100 miles. The cost of that is $1,200 to me. That includes the reservations, the bookings, the train tickets and bus tickets that are happening on ground. For that trip, it's also going to include baggage carriage. Baggage, if you decide that you do not want to carry a backpack, you would be able to have one bag, a backpack sized bag, that is carried for you via car. So I'm on that pilgrimage. I'm actually not going to be walking. We're going to try something a little different. I'm going to have a support vehicle. I'm going to have a car that I would take the bags from one place to the next rather than walking with the group, which is what I've done in the past. So we're just trying that as a different way of doing the pilgrimage. But what that means for you is that if you were to have an emergency, then you can just call me up and I can get you to the end of that day, and also to have baggage service every day that's included in the cost of the trip. So that one is a little bit more, $1,250 no, that one's $1,200 for those a little bit shorter trip. And then the second trip, I'll let Veronica tell you about. That's going to be in September. And this is going to be the first time Veronica's leading by herself. Veronica and I have led 2 pilgrimages together, and now she's going to be leading her first one herself in September.
Yes, so my trip is going to be similar in the sense that we're going to meet in Madrid. You'll arrive back in Madrid, but my trip is from September 20th to October 5th, and you can count September 19th as your travel day, as Jeremiah was mentioning. And we're going to be starting in Ponferrada, which is a couple days ahead, walking wise, before Osobreros. So we will be walking up that mountain, and that is a hard but glorious day when you reach the top and you get to that beautiful village. And so the price is going to be $1,250, and that will not include the car service. I will be walking with you, and I have not done nearly as many caminos as Jeremiah has, and so I'm going to still be on the ground with you, and who knows, we'll see in the future if the car really worked out, and future trips if I end up renting a car to have that support service. But our trip will be about 135 miles of walking. We'll be walking for about 11 to 12 days, and we will spend some time also in Santiago de Compostela at the end of the trip. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. For those of you that would want the baggage service on Veronica's trip, you can still get baggage service from the providers, from the bag service providers. It would just be about €7 a day to be able to have your bag carried.
There's always opportunities if something happens and you need a taxi. I will be available to support, to make sure that you get everything you need. So you will be fully supported the whole trip, and I'll be with you the whole step of the way. My trip is going to be slightly more on the mental health side, where I'm planning the reflections and different things that we're going to be able to discuss. I definitely am, as Jeremiah mentioned, a person of faith, and I take my Christian faith seriously, and it's a part of my foundational, just who I am. But anybody's welcome on the trip, but if you desire that aspect of it, it's going to be available. And so those conversations have been just a really rich part of the Camino experiences with the people in our group, and then the people that you meet from different places around the world. So,
and we're really just hoping on that trip that the conversations and reflection being about mental health and emotional health, fitness, just the fact that we're having that emphasis will allow people to have those conversations around the dinner table. Because a lot of what happens in Camino is really around dinner tables with other people, and so to have that emphasis will allow people to just have the freedom to have those conversations. So,
so we would love to have you on the trip if you've been considering going on Camino, or if you've been before and would love to see how it is to go in one of these groups at these time frames. Look on the website and check out all the details, see how it can fit into your schedule.
Yeah. And
then we are happy to answer any questions. If you have questions, you can either contact us through the site or leave it in the comments, and we are happy to answer.
Yeah. CaminoGuide.info, or there's a link that's in the description of this video, but CaminoGuide.info is the website. Go to guided groups. And you can find out about the 2 trips. There are registration links that are already active. Just real quick on the registration, when you register on the site, that's initially doesn't charge you anything. We'll then send out some additional information and give you a way to pay the initial deposit that completes your registration. But the starting place would be to go ahead and enter that. There's also a place where you can ask questions if you have questions before that. I'm also glad to do some answer email and that kind of thing. We probably will have a call out meeting that's not scheduled yet, but that'll be a chance for us to do a Zoom kind of environment so you can have some conversation about the trip. If you have questions and you're not ready to register, then you may want to look for that, and that information will go out on the website. If you are interested in the trip, then you're certainly welcome to just drop your email into the contact subscription on the website. But when you think you're ready to register, then go ahead and register on the website, and we'll get the additional information out to you. Well, we're looking forward to walking with you. We hope that you'll come with us, that you walk the pilgrimage, and whether you walk the pilgrimage with us or with any number of other people, we hope that you'll make the way in 2025. It's going to be a great year for pilgrimage on Camino.
It is.
Buen Camino,
Buen
pilgrims.
Camino.